11,000 years ago, as a result of the movements during the last stage of glaciation, a unique geological object of the Baltic Ladoga Glint was formed. Glint is an abrasion ledge to which natural outcrops of the Cambrian and Ordovician sedimentary rocks are confined. The total length of the Baltic Ladoga Glint from the island of Öland in Sweden to the southern coast of Lake Ladoga is about 1,200 kilometers. Relative height varies from 15 to 95 meters. On the territory of Estonia, the Glint goes along the Baltic Sea, where it reaches 150 meters in height. Is a natural ledge on which the first Russian fortresses were built. From west to east, Ivangorod, Kaporya, Staraya Ladoga. The Ivangorod fortress was built on the right bank of the Narva River, opposite to the Narva castle, erected in 1256 by the Danish Crusaders. For more than 500 years, two fortresses, looking at each other and separated by a river, have been one of the most striking symbols of the border between Russia and the West, the Orthodox and Catholic Protestant worlds. Kaporya Fortress. It can be considered one of the oldest fortresses in the northwestern region. The history of the fortress is inextricably linked to the history of ancient Russia and the Russian-Swedish wars. From the northwest and north, the fortress walls stand directly on the rocky ledge of the Glint. The fortress itself is composed of the Ordovician limestone. Many sections of the Baltic Glint are unique. There are the world's first finds of fossil organisms of conodonts, which have no analogues in mass accumulation of sponges, cephalopods, and phosphate brachiopods. At the easternmost exposure of the Glint in Staraya Ladoga, one of the oldest Russian fortress cities that are known from the 7th century. Varangian mounds, churches, parks of former noble estates are preserved here. Here is the burial place of Oleg the Prophet, the unifier of northern and southern Russia. Glint is a target of geological heritage of world significance. At the same time, a large number of geomorphological, hydrological, and stratigraphic paleontological monuments are confined to it. Radon sources and lakes in the village of Lopuhinka. On the slope of the Baltic Ladoga Ordovician Glint, underground waters enriched with radon come to the surface in the form of numerous springs and small lakes. Near the source of the Lopuhinka River, a canyon valley up to 30 meters deep was formed. Krasnaya Gorka Fort. The first defense constructions were built here over 100 years ago. The fort's weapons were of great importance for the defense of the Oranienbaum bridgehead in the Great Patriotic War. Near the fort there is a high coastal ledge on the ancient Littorina Sea, which approaches the very edge of the water only in a small area near the Krasnaya Gorka Fort. The Peterhof Museum Complex. In 1705, Peter the Great built the so-called travel mansions of the Gulf of Finland. Their appearance marked the beginning of the capital of fountains. The fountains of Peterhof are filled with springs, which are near the Baltic Glint in the Izhora upland. Water from ponds goes through pipelines to the storage pools of the upper garden. There are about 170 fountains and 3 cascades in Peterhof, which have been recognized by UNESCO as a World Cultural Heritage. The fountain cascade is on the coastal ledge of the Littorina Sea. The city of Pushkin is a World Heritage Site with monuments of landscape gardening art and the world architecture. For the construction of Pushkin palaces, limestones were used that were mined from the quarries near the Baltic Ladoga Glint. Sublina caves are on the Tosna River. These are abandoned underground mines for the extraction of quartz sand for glass production. Most of the caves were created in the second half of the 19th century. The largest cave is Levoberezhная, near the bridge over the Tosna River. The outcrops along the Tosna River are Cambrian and Ordovician stratotypes, with abundant fauna of trilobites, orthocerates, and bryozoans. The Lava River is one of the most interesting rivers in the Leningrad region, in the geographical and geological respect. From the mouth of the Kovra River to the village of Podolya, the lava valley turns into a beautiful canyon, 7 kilometers long, deeply incised into the Baltic Glint. Historical background. Ingermanland, aka Ingria or Izhora land, is the area around St. Petersburg that doesn't have strict borders. In 1708, Peter the Great established the Ingermanland province, and 2 years later it was renamed to St. Petersburg province. The starting point for visiting the geopark will be Vasilievsky Island of St. Petersburg, accommodating the visit center of the geopark, the Geological Museum, and the oldest geological institution in Russia, Russian Geological Research Institute.